Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Vegan Business Tribe podcast with myself, David Purnell, founder of Vegan Business Tribe, broadcasting to you around the world on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your pods, and also now in glorious video on YouTube too. And if you have a vegan business, or you're just thinking about starting one, then Vegan Business Tribe is here to support you and to inspire you, not just to build a vegan business, but to build a successful vegan business. And we are now only weeks away from Vegan Business Tribe Live at the London Olympia on the 18th and 19th of November 2023. And that's part of VegFest UK. And Vegan Business Tribe Live, it is sponsored by the amazing Keith Lesser and his team at Vegan Accountants, who I know all listen to this podcast, but we could not run Tribe Live without the help of our amazing sponsors. So if you are a limited company based in the UK who's got a growth mindset, then do book in a session with Vegan Accountants to talk about having an accountant that shares your ethics and mission. And over the last month, I've been previewing some of our speakers who are going to be at Vegan Business Tribe Live. And today, I'm bringing you an interview with Chloe Bullock from Materialise Interiors. Now, Chloe, not only is she supporting Vegan Business Tribe Live as one of our micro sponsors, but she's also going to be on one of our panel discussions about using your business as your vegan activism. Because Chloe, she has been one of the leading lights in the vegan interior design movement. And I do not say that lightly. She has been recognised by PETA, or People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, as their designer of the year. And her company, Materialise Interiors, it is a registered B Corp. And Chloe herself, she's been featured in The Telegraph, in Forbes, in Vegan Food and Living magazine, and lots of other media as well. And she was also, get this, she was recently commissioned by the Royal Institute of British Architects, or RIBA, to author their book on sustainable interior design. So I wanted to talk to Chloe about all of this. And Chloe, she's also one of our Vegan Business Tribe members too. And it's just been great to be able to support her and follow just this continuing rise to fame that she's had over the last couple of years. And it doesn't matter if you've got much of an interest in interior design or not to get a lot out of this interview, because I think a lot of the time, people assume that you need to be doing food or drink to have a vegan business. But Chloe, she provides both a business to business and a consumer service as her vegan business. So hearing how she brings her vegan ethics into the company, in how she interfaces with the clients, not just in what materials she selects, and how she markets herself as a vegan business, it's a real learning point for us all. And just before we jump into the interview, again, we could not bring you this podcast without the support of our amazing sponsors, who are Vegan Accountants, The Vegan Publisher, MAD or Make a Difference Promotions, and Mindful Wealth. And you're going to hear more about these amazing vegan businesses later in the ad break. But just a note, don't skip the ads. And I know it's tempting when you're listening to a podcast just to skip forwards when the adverts come on. But all our sponsors, they are all ethical vegan businesses just like you. And they're all members of Vegan Business Tribe as well. I have personally worked with each and every one of them. And I'm telling you, they're companies that you should really be aware of if you have a vegan business. So give them a listen and remember to mention Vegan Business Tribe when you do get in touch with them. Okay, so let's go. I just wanted to break off for a second to ask, are you just following this podcast without being a member of Vegan Business Tribe? Because if you are, then let me tell you, you are missing out on about 80% of everything that goes on at Vegan Business Tribe, including incredible resources and a vibrant community of like-minded vegan business owners from around the world. Because as a member of Vegan Business Tribe, you'll gain access to hundreds of hours of online courses and guides and masterclasses in our Vegan Business Academy to help you grow your vegan business. You'll also get to attend our regular online networking meetups where you can promote your business and just forge those connections with fellow vegan business owners just like you. Plus, if you need more direct advice and assistance, you can join us on a live business clinic, or you can post a question in our community hub where all our other members, plus our vegan business experts, are waiting to help you out. And the best part, it's just £18.99 a month. And at the same time, you'll also be supporting the work that we do to champion the vegan business scene around the world. And just to add that we've now also recently introduced one-to-one business coaching and mentoring with myself or one of our vegan business experts. And that's available to a select number of our members. So if you're really looking to take your vegan business to the next level, then we've got you. Don't just lurk on the sidelines. There is a whole community of vegan businesses who want to get to know you and support you. Just head to veganbusinesstribe.com, click on that big join button on the homepage, and I cannot wait to connect with you and discuss your vegan business or your next big idea. I am joined today by Chloe Bullock, who is the founder of vegan interior design company Materialise Interiors. And Chloe, there are a lot of things that I want to ask you about today because you've got so much going on at the moment. But I wanted to first start by asking about this concept of vegan interior design. So explain how you use your design skills to help the vegan cause, and just tell me what Materialise Interiors actually does.
Thank you so much for having me here. It's been brilliant to be a member of the tribe. So vegan interior design, it obviously shouldn't need to exist, but sadly, animals are obviously used in our industry and not so obviously used in my industry as well. And it's funny because I used to work for the Body Shop early in my career, and that was a retailer trying to, convey their ethics through their spaces. So we weren't using animal tested products in the shops, and we weren't using animal products in the shops. But only when I switched from commercial to residential did I realize the whole host of other things that are being used. So the wool and silk and everything, all the fabrics that are used, and then the things that are hidden as well. So it kind of was always in my company's DNA. I've been going nearly 18 years now. So I started my company straight after leaving Body Shop after being there for 10 years, and I just carried on doing it the same way. So yeah, it's kind of it's not just about how we treat animals, it's how we treat people as well. So it's kind of being conscious and responsible in the work.
And you just mentioned there that animal derivatives, they can get into absolutely everything, can they? So when we're talking about vegan interior design, we're not just talking about those obvious things like leather and fur. We're going right down to things like what paints are used, glues used in furniture, that kind of list just goes on.
It's incredible, and I still don't think I've got a handle on it all, but I'm trying my best to keep up with it. And the more communication I have with my suppliers, the more transparent they become, and often they'll tell me things I didn't even think to ask. so in a way, being out there and saying the word vegan as part of my offer sort of helps my suppliers to be clear with me as well.
Absolutely. So, can I just ask, what kind of people look for a vegan interior designer? Because from the experience of ourselves and many of our Vegan Business Tribe members, we find that over and again, the biggest marketplace for a vegan business is usually selling to non-vegans. And when I talk to everyone from, I don't know, vegan web design companies, even through to vegan hotels and B&Bs, they tell me that the majority of their customers don't actually identify as vegan. So, do you find the same with your clients also?
Yeah, I mean, while my dream client would be a vegan, and yeah, be involved in a hotel project would be amazing, because that's a lovely way to show people how you can demonstrate the comfort and the what does it feel like, the textures and the feel of it. So, but yeah, although I've had some small projects for vegan clients, most of my clients are more interested in the general ethics of what I'm offering. And even for many years, a lot of the clients were getting vegan interiors even though they didn't ask for them. I was doing it in stealth mode, I kind of, these days, we don't, we have so many choices. There's so much on offer that it isn't kind of like this small palette. So if I'm showing people things that are better, the fact that I'm not showing them animal products within that offering, well, that's fine. It's better for their health. It's better for the environment. It's better for animals. So, yeah, I've just kind of left some things out.
And I love this conversation because I know, looking through your website, that you've done a lot of work with shops and offices and restaurants as well as people's homes as well. So do you find that your service ever leads to having those wider conversations with non-vegan customers? I mean, there's an obvious hypocrisy here of somebody wanting to be more ethical with their interior design and then going off and eating an animal for lunch. So how much do you try and educate people beyond the actual project that you're commissioned to work on?
I know I have had times when it's kind of been, I've had a client ring me and say, I'd worked on a property which didn't happen, but then someone else came to take on this property, and they were a burger restaurant. And they were like, you won't want to work for us. And I did a bit of soul searching, and, I didn't want to, I thought if I close down the conversation, they'll think that that's what vegans are like. So I went to meet them, and they're a lovely family business. The communication was very open between us, and I told them I didn't like what they were doing, not in a judgy way, but kind of they could see that I was a friendly person, and I was soft but direct in what we were talking about. So in the end, I did work for them. And they asked me so many questions. They expanded their vegan offering. They got involved in tree planting, and every now and again I'll get a question about something, operational that could we be doing in a better way. And they've sort of, yeah, it's kind of turned into, I mean, obviously I'd love them to change their business, but that's not the real world, is it? So yeah, I think keeping the door open was really quite important, and it was an eye opener for me as well.
And it's always about planting those seeds as well. One thing which you might have heard me say over and over again at Vegan Business Tribe is, if you are a vegan business and you just work with vegans, you've kind of missed the point of having a vegan business in the first place. We're wanting to make that change. And a lot of the time it means engaging the non-vegans and the non-vegan companies as well.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, it's been really important to just keep people engaged in my message. It was difficult because at the beginning I took a course that I realized that I was the first one in the UK designer to have taken it. So then I was thinking, what do I do with this vegan word? Do I say it or not? And I just felt that because I was the first one, because I was in a position where, I am a agile micro business. I can make decisions for myself, and I decided to say it out loud. I know I really confused some people, some clients, and maybe, but yeah, I decided to use the word, and because it is accurate, I want to be authentic in business, and I want to be accurate and say what I do. I don't want to say I'm plant friendly or cruelty free, because I'm not using derivatives of animals in the interiors as well. So yeah.
I think this is a conversation we've had with many of our Vegan Business Tribe members as well. You know, this whole idea that people want to use vegan companies, and a lot of the time we are scared to say that word. We're scared to say that we are a vegan interior designer or a vegan web designer or a vegan accountant or something like that. But what we really find is people see veganism now as a little bit of a shortcut, meaning that you are environmentally conscious and ethical, and everybody wants a conscious and an ethical supplier to their business. So I don't think it's got the same stigma that the word maybe had, 5-10 years ago.
I really feel like, I'm in the sustainability world. I talk about sustainability a lot. I'm part of Interior Design Declares, which is a declaration for my industry, which Jex is involved with from Persona Abode as well. And I just feel that the animal element of sustainability is often not spoken about. It's all about carbon, or at best, it's sort of like water footprint and, pollution. And the animal element is a huge in that, whether it's from an animal perspective or the effect of those industries on everything else. But I feel it's kind of true sustainability to not include animals as well. So people, planet and animals. So often you just hear people and planet, don't you? And I just want to shout out, and animals.
Yeah, there's a whole conversation around environmental sustainability, and the most environmental sustainable thing you can do is go vegan. And I think it's worth mentioning at this point also, you just mentioned a couple of the other things that you're involved with, but your hard work, it was recognised by PETA this year, or the People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, and they named you as their Compassionate Designer of the Year in their 2023 Vegan Homeware Award. So what did getting that award mean to you?
Well, floods of tears for a day. Honestly, it's meant so much because I've followed it for years. I think this is maybe the 8th year it's been going, and I've just been so impressed. The designers that they've awarded it to, and and there's sort of like a little envy thing going on, but at the same time, I'm so happy that there's so many of us. And yeah, I was thrilled. It means such a lot to be recognised for that, because I've been a PETA business friend as long as I've known about them. And actually, they are the sort of foundation of the course that I took. Their investigations, undercover investigations, were the sort of, the backup to everything that the course was teaching us. You need the facts, even though they were so hard to watch and that it was dreadful. But I kind of really valued what they were doing, and I'm chuffed to bits. I don't think anything else will come near.
Well, I've got to ask, because you have done quite well with getting yourself in the news over the last couple of years. You have been featured in The Telegraph, I think it was. You've been in Forbes, Vegan Food and Living. So this wasn't your first award either. So I've got to ask, has this been, behind the scenes, a bit of a coordinated effort? Have you had a bit of a PR strategy running in the background?
No, not really.
Wow.
Not really.
I thought you were going to tell me that you've got your own PR agent, that they've been putting you up for these sort of things. But no, all that's just come from the work you've done.
Yeah, so I've been very lucky. I live in Brighton, and there's been some support down here from the Green Growth Platform, who are now called Clean Growth Platform. And they've got things like calculating your carbon, and they've helped me with things like that. But I went to it was a one morning thing about making a press kit, and it was so good, because when you just go to those things that are just like the essence of what you really need. And so she was just she just said, right, you will need this 1-page thing that you can send out, let people know what you're doing, that the key points of what you do. And I've had that sitting on my website, and she also talked to us about was it called journo requests, and when help a reporter out, Harrow, as well. So in that one morning, she told us so many helpful things, and I just tried to keep on it, really. But no, it's just been me. My company is just me, and I've got an accountant, and I try and use as much software to support what I do as possible. And thank you for telling us about AI and making us less scared of it, because I think there's some stuff there that is going to help small businesses like mine.
Absolutely. And we have been covering AI, as you're saying, a lot of Vegan Business Tribe at the moment, because
Yeah.
I think if you do have a vegan business, then it's your kind of mission to make that business as successful as possible, because we're using our skills to move a vegan cause forward. So if there's a tool out there that's going to help you do that, you shouldn't be scared of it just because it's unfamiliar. You should go and take a look to see if it's something that's going to help your business become more successful. But by the things you just said there, it sounds like there has actually been some effort in the background to actually get you in front of these journalists using those platforms like Harrow and things like that as well. So there's been a little bit of that. It's not just necessarily fall into your lap. You have made these things happen.
Oh, and I have had, I've been going nearly 18 years. So there's been, honestly, David, I'm not trying to creep up to you, but your podcast is a bit like having coaching. I'm hearing the self-defense and things like that. It's all stuff that we as vegan businesses need to hear, and I need to work on more. But I've been involved in group coaching in the past, and I've had during the pandemic, I had a coach who was sort of teaching us about email. Oh dear, what do you call them? When you sort of like do you have something to get people to sign up to your list, and then you keep in touch with them. And that I was already
the lead magnets, I think you're talking about.
That's it.
Yeah.
And it was kind of great to learn about all of that. It feels a little bit icky to me. I don't like that too much of that sort of automation. I like to be me contacting people, but it was good to understand that, and also understand the value of having a newsletter list and keeping that, because everybody always says, what happens if your social media disappeared? Have you got everybody's email address to keep in touch with them? And I know that a lot of people, first of all, I just want to share learnings with people. I'm quite happy. I don't need them to come back to me as customers, but I know that there's sometimes people who may want you in the future and they want to keep in touch, so I can share some tips and tell them things that are going on. So yeah, I've kind of valued that. So yes, I guess, but I haven't got a sort of team of people helping me. But I do, I try and keep my education up.
Absolutely. And having that marketing in place, something like winning an award, that is a brilliant piece of marketing. So can I ask, has it actually made any difference? Has it opened up some opportunities for you?
I think because it came a bit later in the year, it was hitting summer holidays time, so it might not have come out, but it's fine. We've had some good coverage. It's just amazing to me. But when I have won awards in the past, it's such a boost. It's because sometimes it's hard in business, isn't it? Sometimes you just feel like, I don't know, keep going at this, and then when somebody recognizes that you're talking away about something that's quite different to the rest of your industry, it's amazing. It's really good to have a boost.
Do you want to speak at more events? Do you want to get invited onto podcasts like this one? Well, it's far easier to do that if you can say that you have written a book. So let me tell you about The Vegan Publisher. Their founder, Mitali, she is a best-selling business author herself, and Mitali and her team, they will lead you through that entire process of becoming a published author, transforming you into the thought leader of your industry. And writing a book, it isn't just a great marketing activity to get you more clients. Trust me, being a published author, it will open up doors to opportunities that you never even knew existed. So even if you think you don't have the time to write a book, or even if you don't know what you might write a book about, go take a look at theveganpublisher.com to find out more. If you are a UK vegan business, wouldn't it be better to have an accountant that shares your ethics? Well, vegan accountants have got over 30 years of experience, and they're a vegan founded company. And just to add, they're also our accountants at Vegan Business Tribe, because they just get us. They understand why we do what we do, and they make sure that we're doing it in the most tax efficient way possible. Keith and his team, they've been massive supporters of our mission at Vegan Business Tribe. So if you are an established UK business with a growth mindset and you want an accountant that is going to help you grow and shares your mission as well as saves you tax, then just go to veganaccountants.co.uk to find out more. Well, I also want to talk about then, because there's been another big change that happened this year in the company, and that's that you've become a certified B Corp. And just in case people aren't familiar with this whole B Corp movement, this is a registration process, I think, that a company can go through to demonstrate that they're operating just at those higher standards in terms of their social and environmental impact. And you mentioned The Body Shop earlier, and they are a registered B Corp company. So I've got to ask, why, as a relatively small business, was it important for Materialise Interiors to become a B Corp too?
Well, I've sort of admired it since it's been going. I feel that it's kind of a more generally recognised certification, and I've sort of studied some other things in the past, but my clients don't know anything about it, so then you've got to educate the clients to understand what you've just done. And I just really, I don't think any of these things are perfect, but it kind of was as close to being what I needed it to be to show clients that I'm not only conscious in how I work, but how my business operates as well. I just really wanted to do it, and I've written this book, and one of my chapters in the book is about ethical business. And I thought, well, if I'm writing about it, I need to put myself through the process of it so I can truly tell people how it is. So it was going to happen at some point, but I kind of got on and did it for the book, really.
Well, I've actually heard a lot of companies talk about how hard this process can actually be to become B Corp. You know, just you're saying yourself there, you want to put yourself through that process. So what did you actually need to do? Did you need to make any major changes in the businesses to get B Corp registered?
Because I sort of carried on doing what I learned from the ethical business that Body Shop did. So, from the start, I was using an ethical bank. I was conscious of where I was spending money. We used to go and do voluntary work regularly. So I just sort of carried on all those things. I do beach cleans. I just paying suppliers on time, trying to use people that are local, being conscious with your waste and renewable energy. It's kind of just stuff that I was doing. So that part of the B Corp process was really quite straightforward. The thing, I scored really well. I do a giving back part of my business, which is 5% of the turnover. It used to just be my profit, but now I've made it my turnover is donated to charities, and a lot of those are animal charities, but there's also some people and planet charities as well. So I scored very highly there. So, but there's definitely areas to work on. Being an interior designer, I'm specifying things that could be from all over the world that could be damaging, and so while they don't get into all the detail on that, but they want to know some of it. So there's definitely areas to work on.
Absolutely. And how long did that whole certification process take?
So it took 9 months altogether. And to begin with, I would just urge everyone just to go straight to the impact assessment and just start filling it in, because it's only until you sort of see the gaps that you know where you've got to go and do a bit of work. And I think the only way of doing that is to start the process. It's completely free to fill out the assessment. And then, you can identify where you need to work. And so mine was 9 months. To begin with, I was filling out things as a big company and thinking, this feels really strange because I'm just me. And then someone from the B Lab comes in and just sort of adjusts things and checks you're in the right category, and you're a micro business, right? You're so then some of the questions went away, and you have to write about processes in your company, and when you're one person, it's quite a strange thing to do.
But it definitely sounds like there's a real fit in that. If you're already a vegan business and you're already an ethical business and you're already, involved in a lot of those kind of projects trying to give back, it sounds like there's not going to be much alignment needed to be able to get something like the B Corp certification. Can I ask, what was there any cost involved there?
So to get to the point where I knew if I was going to score well or not, and it was free, and then it was something like £700 to be certified, and then every 3 years you recertify, and they want you to improve. They don't want you to stand still. So I'm already sort of thinking of areas I can see where I can improve, and sort of working on them already. So it's a cost. It's definitely a cost. It meant a lot to me to do it. So but you can still be an ethical business without being certified. You don't have to have a badge for everything. I know a lot of ethical businesses that aren't B Corp, but and actually I've still got it. My ethics statement on my website has always been there, and I've just added to it as I've kind of thought, oh, I suppose people might want to know about that. And then that actually really helped me with my B Corp certification process as well. So yeah, I think it's good to just start listing what you're doing. It urges you on to do more. So the way I sort of put it is there's a building standard that I've studied in the last year as well, and they call it, you've got your footprint and you've got your handprint. So your footprint is the negative effect and the handprint is the positive. So doing things for a community and putting things back is your handprint, as well as any kind of, I like to plant mangroves these days instead of trees, because mangroves will grow quicker and have more of a positive impact. But yeah, I'd like to think of it as handprint and footprint, really.
What a wonderful way to put it. Now, you did just mention earlier there about another project that you've been working on. I think we're allowed to say that you have been commissioned by the Royal Institute of British Architects to write their book on sustainable interior design. So tell me a little bit about that project too.
Well, that was a bit of a shock. So a bit out of the blue, I'm very involved with my professional body, the BIID, which I've been a member for 10 years, and it's been brilliant. And I've got more and more involved in it. But we sit alongside RIBA, and they've got this publishing arm, and they really wanted a designer to write about it. And I guess I talk about things on LinkedIn, and they might have seen me there, and they knew about me from the professional body. And they approached me to write this book, and I kind of said, oh, I'd love it if it was a bit more like this, because this is the book I'd like to read. And they were so open to that, and it was lovely. And so for a year, until 1st of August, I was writing it. So to begin with, it was part-time, and at the end it was full-time. And I'm really happy with it, and I'm excited to inspire my industry with it. So the way it's constructed is it's 11 chapters of different approaches into a sustainable interior. What would draw you in? For me, it would be circular economy and vegan interior design and ethical business. But for other people, it might be using regenerative materials or designs, or a people-based, they're conscious of the people in the supply chain, or using vernacular materials. So I've kind of given all these different routes for a designer or their client to kind of get a handle on, so that at the end they get a sustainable interior, just to show what's possible, really. So it's quite a book of inspiration, really, with projects from across the world.
And again, I love this because, I mean, this goes back to momentum a little bit. We've talked about all these things of getting yourself in the news, of being active on LinkedIn, on making sure that people, see what you're talking about and get on board with your mission. And that's what leads to these kind of opportunities. Because I think when we're talking about vegan businesses, we're talking about using our skills to move the vegan, and in your case, the sustainability causes forwards. But now with a project like this, you're having a real impact on your whole industry, not just the individual clients that you work with personally.
I know. And when I was having a wobble about doing this book, because I knew it was going to be a big thing, this isn't I'm not somebody, when I study it, I have to really study hard, and it's not all sitting there. But well, there were two things. But one thing was, I thought, if I don't do this book, the person they ask won't write about animals.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second thing was, I came to the Vegan Business Clinic and sort of said, I'm having a wobble about this. And you all said, do it.
I remember that session. And that's one of our vegan business clinics that we run at Vegan Business Tribe. And I remember when you came in and you were so unsure about doing this just because of the huge commitment it was going to be.
It was so supportive. It was amazing. And it literally, I was back on it, and everything. Whenever I get to situations like that, I think about that quote that I put up every year, which is being the voice for the voiceless, and that being your motivation. And so, yeah, I need to always dig deep and think of that, because it's the people and the animals. I'm really concerned about when animals are unfairly or cruelly treated. There's also people being cruelly treated as well. They are one and the same, and it's not a surprise when you really think about it. So yeah, I was very spurred on to get on with it then.
That's absolutely wonderful to hear. And yeah, those kind of business clinics, they're just a great environment to, to get amongst the people who are on that same mission as you are. Because when you do, things just happen so much quicker when you've got those people who support your exact same mission. So that is wonderful to hear. Did you know that in the UK alone, there is currently around £3 trillion invested in pensions? And much of that money, it's helping to fund harmful industries like tobacco, fossil fuels, gambling, and animal agriculture. So if instead you want to put your money where your heart is, then Jay Street is the founder of Mindful Wealth, our UK-based independent and vegan financial advisor here at Vegan Business Tribe. And because they are truly independent, they're not restricted to any specific investment range, so they can find the best option that works for you both financially and ethically. Although do note that the value of your investments, it can go down as well as up. But you don't need to have a lot of money invested to make a difference. If you want to talk about your financial planning, whether you're just starting your journey or you need a little guidance on how to create and maintain good habits, then book a free discovery call with Jay by heading to mindfulwealth.uk. If you are looking to get your business in the news or on the radio or interviewed on TV, then no one's going to get your company noticed like Karen Ridgers and her team at Mad Promotions. And Karen, she's been at the forefront of the vegan media scene for the last 20 years. And Mad Promotions, they're also our media partners at Vegan Business Tribe. So if you've read about us in plant-based news or in Vegconomist, then that's probably because Karen got that story there. So if you are an ethical company or entrepreneur that wants more media coverage, and if you're a company that is looking to make a difference, then that's literally what Mad Promotions stands for. Karen, she's worked with Veganuary, VegFest, and all the other big names. So go find out more at mad-promotions.com. But Chloe, I want to kind of wrap up this conversation with a final question about your advice to others. And we've just been talking about, support for other people running vegan business. So if somebody is also thinking about getting into vegan interior design, I know that you have mentored a couple of people. So do you get people coming to you saying that they want to be a vegan interior designer? And if so, what kind of advice do you give them?
I do get quite a few inquiries and try and help as many people as I can. So it's difficult. I think I don't know if I'm ducking out of it for them, but the hard time that I had saying vegan, if somebody's starting out, perhaps they just need to do it the stealth way that I was doing it for a while until they kind of establish themselves, because it's hard enough getting established in business anyway. And interior design is, I'm not saying it's hard, but it's complex. There's a lot of elements to it. And to be setting up a small business in something quite complex, there's a whole lot of things that could go wrong. So I kind of think get your foundations perhaps, but have your ethics presence. But sometimes you need to speak to people in different ways. And I know that you talk about this with us often, but sometimes I don't use vegan to clients that aren't going to understand that. So I just tell them that I'm unlikely to show them any animal products, or I'm not going to get involved with you buying this because I don't approve. And I will tell them why. But I don't want to sort of backstep on the pushing the ethics and the cause, but if somebody's trying to set themselves up, sometimes the sustainability covers all of it, and we can do different parts of it in different strengths. I bet you think I'm backing out of the vegan cause here, don't you? But no, I do find myself saying,
I tell you what, Chloe, that whole idea that, you have to be an entry point to veganism somewhere. And sometimes if you come up to somebody who has very, very bad preconceptions of what veganism is, you will just come up against a brick wall. So that whole idea of planting seeds, vegan by stealth, you don't have to win the argument. You just need to change their view on something and plant a seed for the future. So I think that whole idea of doing vegan by stealth first, it works for so many businesses.
It's funny because the example that I could give is my professional body. We were at an event together, and there was lots of the people there, and they just knew me as me, but they also knew me as the vegan designer, but hadn't married the two together. And that, one point somebody said, "Oh, you're the vegan interior designer." And I'm like, yeah. They're like, "You're really friendly." It's kind of like I'd come in and got to know them all, and they know that I'm not going to bash them over the head with things, but they also know that I'm not going to be afraid to tell them that I disagree and why, and try and show them other ways. So yeah, I think there's ways into this activism. And using it at the right time sometimes.
Absolutely brilliant. Well, I have been talking with Chloe Bullock, who is the founder of vegan interior design company Materialise Interiors. And if anybody wants to find out more about the work you do, if they want to talk to you about a project, where do they go, Chloe?
You can go to my website. There's an inquiry button on there, and I can have a discovery call, or just there's lots of ways on there to contact me, but I like LinkedIn and Instagram, so I'm there quite a lot as well.
Fantastic. So that is materialiseinteriors.com. And you're also going to be one of our speakers at Vegan Business Tribe Live on the 18th and 19th of November at the London Olympia 2. In fact, you're actually one of the event sponsors.
Oh, it's brilliant. I really love VegFest, and it's great to be a part of it. Thank you for having me there. No, it's going to be great. Looking forward to it.
Absolutely amazing. Well, thank you so much for your time, Chloe, and I'm sure that we're going to speak again soon.
Oh, thanks so much. Thanks for all you do for us, David. You're brilliant. Thank you.
And thank you for your kind words. Honestly, I'm not paying her. I loved recording that interview. And just a reminder, you can also meet Chloe at Vegan Business Tribe live at the London Olympia. And that's on the 18th and 19th of November 2023 as part of VegFest UK. And it's sponsored by the amazing Vegan Accountants. And if you can get to London, then I want to see you literally camped out at our stage for those entire 2 days. Do go check out the full speaker lineup on the website at veganbusinesstribe.com and click on that Tribe Live 2023 tab for everything that you need to know. And also, if you've not yet signed up as a member of Vegan Business Tribe Live, then, well, first of all, what are you playing at? But while you're at our website, also click that big join button on the homepage and just take a look at everything that you get access to as a member. Because when you surround yourself with other people who are on the same ethical, business journey that you are. People like Chloe from Materialise Interiors, who is also one of our Vegan Business Tribe members. It makes such a difference. And everything that we do, not just putting out this podcast, but all the other content we create in our Vegan Business Academy, the online networking and business clinics that we run as part of a tribe, the courses we produce and all the other work that we do in just championing the vegan business scene around the world. We could not do that without the support of our membership and our members in our thriving community. So if you both want help, but also to support us helping other vegan businesses at the same time, please do go sign up with us at veganbusinesstribe.com. So that is it, and thank you just so much for giving up your time to join us for another episode. Please do subscribe or give us a like or a comment or even a 5-star review if you want to help us keep growing this podcast, and I'll see you on the next one.